Great. Okay, I've moved location. So a big apologies for anyone who didn't hear me or was struggling to hear me. Okay, hopefully everyone can hear me now. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? If you've got your camera on. Thanks, Gabrielle. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go all the way back to the start. I'll start again, guys. Apologies. So we've got 6 areas within our school community, and the first thing we want to cover tonight is going through the overview of the school community. So within the community is where we can communicate and talk to each other. Now, this is going to go for about 40 to 45 minutes. If you guys need to duck out, don't worry, this meeting's recorded and we're going to share the link to everyone. So if you've got other plans on a Friday night, I appreciate it's late. By all means, jump out. This is fully recorded and we'll share it back to you. But if you want to stay in, we'd love you to stay in with us. Any questions you've got, guys, please feel free to drop the questions in and I'll answer them as best as I can. So we've got classroom, we've got calendar. So within our calendar, we have our events that are upcoming. So obviously you can see our current event that we're currently running at the moment, which is tonight's event. We've got our members where you can see each other within the members. We've got our leaderboards. So I'm not sure if you heard me before, but a big congratulations to Alex Alves, Fred Shione, Kai Hen and Rick Fraser. They're some of our top scorers within the community. You get given scores based on how interactive you are in the community, following the programs, opening up the courses, and that's how you get your points. And then we've got the about section. Now, the part that I want to come to tonight and spend most of the time is within the classroom. And the first thing we want to showcase to you guys is the football blueprint. And what is the football blueprint? So the football blueprint, if we go to the how-to guide, you will notice that we have got within the football blueprint, we have got a couple of videos that you can watch. And within those videos, it will explain to you how you can follow through the blueprint. Now, it's a 4-minute video and everyone needs to watch it because I explain in its entirety on how we follow the football blueprint. Now, within the football blueprint, I'll actually go into the main screen. There is another explainer video here for the football blueprint, and you can actually download a copy of the football blueprint here. Now, this is a 900-page document, and it's not something that we expect you to complete overnight. It's meant to be done on a daily or a weekly basis. The more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Now, some of the skills and tricks in here that we cover are the 4 turns, the 4 dribbles, and the juggle and challenge, okay? Now, the reason why these 4 turns, 4 dribbles, and the juggle and challenge is super important. This is the key fundamental basic foundation that we discovered in the Premier League that players need to follow outside of club. So if you train at a club 3-4 times a week or 2 times a week, we know that's not enough. We know we need to do the +130, which is +1 your age. So if you say, Ray, my son or my daughter has only got 6 hours, but he should be doing 11 hours, where can he make up the extra time? You can make up the extra time within the football blueprint. So within this football blueprint, again, you can download it here. Within the classroom, if you go to the how-to guide, you can actually watch the football blueprint video and it will explain exactly how to utilize it. Now, when you're doing the football blueprint, so as an example, I can see I've got Cooper on the screen and I'm just going to use Cooper as an example. So if Cooper's going down to the park or in the backyard to practice, he'll click on the 4 turns and he'll do one of them, not all of them. He'll practice one for 15, 20 minutes. So the first one he might do today might be the outside hook. He can click on it and it will load the video for him and it will give him a brief explainer on how to do the outside hook. But the bit that a lot of mums and dads are missing, and we need to really encourage the players to read, is this part here. This is the really important part. So some of the key technical components of doing this is dropping the shoulder. change the direction, change the speed. Mums and dads can read this and can follow it. Now, we are going to do some more videos for you as well, so that will help you. And they're going to be getting dropped in within the dugout, which is our coaching platform, which I'll show you in a little moment. So Cooper, as an example, would practice the outside hook. Then the other thing you would always practice would be the juggling challenge. Now, the juggling challenge is exactly the same. You can click on here. There's a link to watch it, and it will take you to the juggling challenge video, and it will take you through the levels and how to do it. You obviously start at level 1 and then you work your way through. Now, one of the big things we want you to do is within this football blueprint documentation, we want you to record your results, and this is how we record your results. So let's say for your juggling, if you look on the screen here, you will see this is your juggling tracker. Now, once your son and daughter gets to level 1 on the right foot, you can put a tick on there. And once they get to level 1 on the left foot, you can get, and it's a great way of players to be able to track it. Again, it's QR coded. So if you forget where the video is, you can scan the QR code and go straight in. Now, what I'm encouraging everyone to do is, as much as possible, is to follow this football blueprint. Give yourself a target. There's a 100-day juggling challenge on here, and you can follow it through. So that's just a little bit about the football blueprint. And again, just to remind everyone, if you go to the how-to guide, if you click on football blueprint, there's a video there and you can watch that video. Okay. So Cooper, does that explain the football blueprint to you? Can you give me a thumbs up? Brilliant, mate. Fantastic. Okay. So the next part that we're going to have a little look at, and we'll just pull it up just on here. So the next part we're going to look at is mental training. So we're going to have a look at our mental strength training. So back into classroom, back into football mental strength training. Now, you've probably had a look inside here and you might be wondering, what's it for? Who's it for? This covers 7 key areas for mums and dads, but for players as well. Now, anyone who's 6, 7, 8, 9 years of age, they're probably going to need mum and dad to help them with this, but we want to encourage you as a parent to break it down into really small chunks. Just do 1 slide at a time, and you don't have to do 2 slides a week. You could do 1 slide a week. You could do 1 slide a fortnight. But some of the things that we cover is mental toughness, self-talk, controlling the controllables, imagery, confidence building and maintenance, dealing with disappointment, and dealing with parents, which is the big one. And that's in a good way. It's not necessarily saying all parents are maybe shouting from the sideline and screaming. It's actually knowing how parents can deal with the players, their son or daughter, but how the boy and girl can deal with their mum and dad as well, and how everyone gets the best outcomes. So as a scenario, let's say we come to process versus outcome. You can actually just read through this slide, and there's actually within each slide, it actually gives you a task to follow. So let's look at this particular slide and I'll give you the quick explainer. You read through the slide, it gives you all the information. Then under task 1, it says, on your own or with a friend or a parent, can you write down the below tasks? So the first part is, what is in your control on the football pitch? Give us 3 to 5 answers. So things that we would be looking for, and I'll give you some of the answers. Things that are in your control is your decision making, your communication with your mouth. It is whether you decide to pass a ball to a teammate. It might be how you react when you do something good, or maybe when you perceive something to be bad. Now, this is really good for mums and dads to do with the sons or daughters, because you do a list, get them to do a list. Say to them, you've got 5 minutes and let's compare what we've got. And there's no real wrong or right answers on this one. The second part is what's not in your control on the football pitch. Give us 3 to 5 answers. So what we discovered in the Premier League was, and I'll give you an example of what's not in your control. So one of the things that's not in your control is the referee, the linesman, the opposition players, your teammates, your coach, the opposition coaches. So there's loads of people and stuff within that environment that's not in your control. What we discovered was once we taught players this, when a referee makes a bad decision or the opposition score a goal, they don't see it as a bad thing anymore. They see it as an opportunity to go, that's happened and we now need to fix it. So within the football mental toughness, you'll see there's over 48 tasks within here. And if you were to follow it through it in its entirety, it would take you probably best part of half a year. So again, we don't expect mums and dads and players to do this overnight. This is something that we say, click on one slide and go through one slide at a time, and maybe just do one slide a week, one slide a fortnight. Okay, next part we're going to go to, so that's hopefully a little bit about the football mental toughness, is match analysis, when and how. So this is the big one. Now, some of you have been on the program with us for like a year or longer. You would be aware that we had the portal, which was our old system. We listened to you guys as customers and as clients and as players and as mums and dads that a lot of these were struggling to use it. We knew it inside out because we were part of building it, but because we were living in it, we actually didn't realize you guys were really struggling with it. So we made a big effort last year to put an investment of just under $1 million into this community app that we've built and the content in it. So the first thing is for match analysis. We've got two types of full-time players on the program. You guys might have signed up originally on a minimum of a 4-year program. Some of you guys on here might be new people to the program and you've only signed up for 12 months. So there's different levels of sign-ups, okay? If you're on a 12-month program to start off with, you only get one match analysis, okay? If you're on the longer program, so if you're committed to 4 years or longer, you get 2 match analysis for that program. Now, one of the big questions we're getting all the time is, when do we get our first match analysis? When do we get our second match analysis? So I want to help you with that. So once you register with us on the program, on the full-time program, we aim to get your match analysis turned around, ideally within 4 to 6 weeks. Now, what might stop that happening might be you guys giving us the video footage. Maybe there could be an issue getting a tripod down to get a film. But all up, we estimate to get your match analysis done within 4 to 6 weeks. Now, if anyone's had a match analysis or you're waiting on a match analysis and you've got an issue, what we've done is with this community and this app, we've just employed 2 new members of staff full-time to support me. And when you speak on here, you're speaking to me all the time. I'm going to have 2 new staff members on here with me as well. And any questions or problems that we get around GPS trackers, match analysis, objectives, we're going to have a team of people who will get back to you with an answer and recognize your question within 24 hours, Monday to Friday. If it's over the weekend, obviously it might be delayed until a Monday morning, but our aim is to get back to you no longer than 24 hours to firstly acknowledge you that you've got an issue, and then to say, leave it with us and we'll try and get a resolution as quick as we can. So again, we've added this school and this community app to help you. Now, in relation to your second match analysis, so if you're on a program that's going longer than 12 months, or if you're on the 12-month program and you're going to stay for an additional 12, when you trigger your second match analysis, we will trigger that based on 2 areas. The first area is you've completed your first match analysis, and now you've completed all your objectives. You now need a second match analysis. Now, just to remind everyone, one objective takes 6 to 12 months to complete. Now, we've got 1 or 2 families who've completed their objectives in 4 weeks, which is impossible. But again, we'll hold our hands up, and we probably have not communicated this properly, and we've not relayed it to you guys properly how to follow it. So over the next 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to showcase match analysis, objectives, how you record them, and when you know you're ready for your next match analysis. So first thing we've got for you guys is on the how-to guide, we've got a video called Match Objectives, and it goes for 11 minutes. Now, this 11-minute video will show you how to access the form, how to input your data, and how to submit your data for review. Now, once you submit the data to review, it'll be me, not staff members who are reviewing it, and I will make the call to say, yeah, you're all ticked off. Now you can go to your second match analysis. If you're on a 12-month program and you've got through it earlier and you want to trigger a second match analysis, all you've got to do is submit your results and we'll trigger that one for you. And obviously there's a cost involved if you're only on the 12-month program to get the second one, but we can share the costs with you to refer that back. So the first thing you need to do, guys, is I'm not going to play this video because it is 11 minutes, but you need to watch the match objectives video. Now, when we go into the classroom, you guys should have access to football objectives in here. So if you click on football objectives, you will notice we have got 4 areas. We've got outfield player objectives. We've also got goalkeeper player objectives. And what these are is these are your forms that you need. So as an example, if you're a goalkeeper, you need to read this information and click the link below with the blue writing. That will then allow you to download a copy of this document. And this is where you input shot stop, and that could be one of your objectives. Leadership and communication. You've also got distance and short passing. You've also got movement and awareness. And you've got scanning and positioning. Now, finally, we've got world-class distribution. So that's for the goalkeepers. Now, you would download that document. You'll notice here, you can put notes on it live on the screen. But what I want you to be aware of, you need to make sure if you update notes, you need to save a copy to your iPhone, your Android, your iPad, your laptop, and save the document locally. And it explains this in the video. Now, we will have a look at our outfield one. It's exactly the same, but the only difference is the match objectives are built for outfield players. And again, you can download by clicking on this blue link. Now, if you want to access the objectives on how you do them, if you go to the outfield objectives, and let's say your first objective is scanning, click on scanning. You'll see me at Paris Saint-Germain, and I'm going to give you the explainer on how to follow the scanning objective. The same if you're a goalkeeper and your first objective is world-class passing. You'll see I'm at Borussia Dortmund in Germany, and I'm giving you the explainer on how to do it. And that's what we're looking for. Now, I'll give you a quick example of what we're looking for. So when we go in, let's say we're an outfield player and we've downloaded our match objectives and your coach has done your match analysis, and that coach was from Liverpool Football Club, and your first objective is scanning. Now, you've got to put in the information on here and you've got to record it in. Now, we were trying to encourage the players to do this because what we've discovered was in the Premier League going back in 2014 and 15, accountability is key for everything. Now, you might have it wrote down on a piece of paper, and every time you play a game, you might save it up for a week. That's fine. But maybe once a week or once a fortnight, you need to get in a habit of recording this information here because you need to share this information to us. And I'm going to show you how you do that. So let's say the game was against Brisbane City. The date was the 1st of February. On the scanning chart, your mum or dad might have watched your game, and they're going to look how many times when you're scanning, do we do it successfully? That was 1. And in the game, you might have done it 5 times. Also in the game, you might have not scanned 5 times. So you put 5 successful, 5 unsuccessful, and that would give you a percentage of 50%. Now, the good thing of this is as well, you can really challenge the players and the kids to go, no, you get the calculator, you work out what the percentage is and check it with them if it's right. For mums and dads who are a bit like me, I'm not great at math. I use ChatGPT to work out percentages. So you can do it whichever way you want. Now, remembering you've got to get to the magic number of 85% or more 3 times to complete that objective, okay? Now, if your son and daughter's doing it and they've recorded 20 results and they haven't got 1 over 85%, that's a problem. That's when you message us in the community and we'll set you up with information, help videos, or it might mean an intervention. And an intervention might mean we need to get on a Zoom for 15 minutes and say, hey, Gabrielle, what's going on? Why is it not working? Give me some information. Let's see what we're doing. Now, the other way you can record your objectives, mums and dads don't have to watch the games. You can get a recording of your game and you can watch the game back with mum and dad or watch it on your own. And it's a great tool for boys and girls to watch their own game back and see how many times they scan and don't scan, if that's their particular objective. Now, the final bit we're going to get to, you've now successfully completed 3. That's 85% or above. You then move to your next objective. Now, once you've done all 5 objectives, you need to scan in these charts by screenshotting them, and you're then going to message them within the community. So I'm going to show you how you do that. And it's really straightforward to do. You would go to members and you would look for Raymond Wood. And if you click in there, you would see me and you would do chat and you will then send the objective results in there. But what we've decided to do is we're going to create a user within this system and we're going to launch it tomorrow morning. And the user is going to be called Match Objectives. So you would click on the user Match Objectives. You drop in here via an attachment your results. We are then going to upload your results within our internal system to store them for safekeeping. We'll keep the hard copies that you scan to us and send us, but we're also going to input the numbers into our back-end portal that you guys were struggling to use. All you need to do is store it in here, and you know you've got a record. So all you need to do is click Match Objectives as a member and go into the chat, and you will see all the chats you've had in there, all the different submissions. This is also going to be the same case, and we'll showcase it here in a minute for the GPS tracking results as well. And we're going to cover how we do that. So that's a little bit about Match Objectives. And what we'll do is I'll just take us back home and we'll go back into our community. So the next part we're going to look at is GPS tracking. So exactly the same GPS tracking. Now, I need to move the video, the how-to guide. It's not there, but I've just realized we've put it into the wrong folder. So I'm going to move the video in a moment to this folder, but I'll show you where it lives as well. We're going to keep a backup of it. If you go into the GPS tracking, which is just here, when you go into the GPS tracking, you will notice that we've got a video here, which gives you an explainer about the tracker. And the next one is how to record your GPS tracking results. Now, within this, if you click on here, it gives you your GPS tracking activity sheet, the same as your match objectives. Now, the beauty of the GPS trackers, everything's stored within the StatSport app that you've got on your phone or your device. But what we want the players to do is we want the players to start putting some of this in onto our sheet. So why do we do this? Quite simply, we do this because this is what the academies do in Europe and in the Premier League. They get 1 hour a week to sit down with the football blueprint document, the match objectives, and also the GPS tracking. Now, are we going to be upset if you don't transfer all of your son or daughter's GPS tracking results in here? No. What I would encourage you to do is find 1 training session a week at minimum and drop it in, and 1 game day a week minimum and drop it in. For me, that would be more than enough. It makes the players accountable and they start to understand things like HSR, maximum speed, total distance. So they start to talk about the science behind the football. Now, again, once you've completed this and you've filled the sheet, again, you screenshot it, you'll go into members, you would then search for GPS, and tomorrow morning it will go live. There'll be a member in there called GPS tracking. You submit the GPS tracking sheet on there, but you only submit it once you've completed a whole sheet. You don't need to do it every time you submit one, okay? So hopefully that explains a little bit. Now, Within our classroom and within the GPS trackers, you've probably noticed there's a lot of screens and a lot of slides in here. We're very fortunate that we've populated this as really good as we can to give you as much information about it. We've put some of the slides in, which explains it in a bit more detail. And it also gives you the benefits of the tracker. Also, some videos to motivate the boys and girls as who's the fastest. And one of the big things I want to showcase to you, what we're doing at the moment, and this is really interesting for the GPS tracker. Some of you have probably noticed there's a new section called halftime, and I'm going to share what halftime is. Some of you can't access it yet, and it takes a few months to get access to. Some of you will be able to access it. Now, within the halftime, we're actually working with a player who's on the platform, who's been with me for 3 years on the program, and he plays professional football in Liverpool. Now, Kai is doing this with us every week, and we're doing a little mini section. Now, one of the big things that we've got with Kai is with the GPS tracker. We know Kai is ready to sign a big contract with one of the big clubs, but one of the things that we discovered that was letting him down, and I'll showcase it with you. I'll just play it through and see if we can discover it. So this part here, what we're actually doing is on this video, we're comparing Kai with Phil Foden, Harry Kane, and also Harry Maguire at Manchester United. Now, what we're doing is we've discovered that Kai was behind on all the stats against all them players, and rightly so, because they're Premier League players. What we've done with Kai is now performing better than Phil Foden of Manchester City in two areas. Ironically, Kai is now on the verge of making a big signing for one of the big clubs in England, because we're now tracking him against some of the best players on the StatSports GPS tracker. So for those boys and girls who want to challenge themselves, if you look within the StatSports app, all the information is in there on how you can compare yourself against some of these players. If you don't know how to do that, watch this video. It's a 15-minute video, and it will showcase the boys and girls on how to do it. And it's genius. It really, really shows you the results on how to get around. Now, the next one that we're going to have a little look at is the match objectives, which we just covered off. But what I want you to be aware of as well, if you're having any problems within the match objectives, if you're not sure the technical aspect of it, what we've done is, guys, we've populated the document with more detail for you. So when you come into objectives, if you actually open up, if you're a goalkeeper, as an example, and you open up the documents in here, we need you to remember to read through this information, guys. It gives you the full explanation on what you need to do. And again, the QR code's there to get the video. So if for whatever reason you're not connected to the school community and you've got this document on your phone or printed out, you can scan the QR and it will take you straight to that key bit of information. Now, next part that we're going to have a little look at to move on to is Q&A for families. So I can see we've got a few questions within here. So I'm going to see if I can just pull up those questions, and I'll try my best to get through them. Now, I know there was a few people messaging saying we had a few problems with my connection. Hopefully everyone's heard me okay in the last sort of 30 minutes. Now, let me see if I can find some questions. Can we save the football blueprint to the portal, or is it just our personal device? So that was from Norm Wales. So Norm, I think what you mean is, can we save it within the community, within this app or the portal, whatever we want to call it? Just so everyone knows, guys, we've decided not to call it an app, and I keep calling this, but we need to move away. What we're currently showing you, we're going to call our community. So in the future, if we hear the word community, it means basically the app, but we're going to use the terminology community. So you can save the football blueprint to your phone, iPhone, Android, laptop, anywhere that will store it. You can save it within there. You don't have to get one, but I've got one of these fancy Remarkables where you can actually draw on it, and you can save them within a Remarkable as well. But for me, just save it to your device. Make sure wherever you save it, your son and daughter can access it to edit it. Then all you need to do is, I use a lot on my iPhone. I love editing them on the iPhone because you can screenshot it and you could submit it straight onto the community. So remember, Norm, we're going to have GPS tracker member that you submit your GPS screenshots to. And we're also going to have our match objectives member. And we'll give you a reminder of that tomorrow within the community. Next question, match objectives is locked for me. How do I get access? So that was from Tony T. Now, guys, if you're on the full-time program, you should have access to pretty much everything on this community. If you don't have access, we need to get access sorted for you. So Tony, I'm going to make a note of this. And what I will do is I will make sure my team gets onto this straight away in the next 24 hours. We just need to check that you definitely are a member of the full-time program, because I'm aware that there's a couple of people watching now who aren't on the full-time program. So if you're on the full-time, if you're not on the full-time program, guys, you will never get access to certain parts of this community. It's closed off only for the full-time members. But what I will do is, Tony, I will check that you are a member of our full-time community, and I'll just make a note of your name, and I'll get my team to check that for us. Alex Alves as well is saying the same. So Alex, again, we will check for you, but you should have full access. Now, the only time you won't have access as well, if you're a full-time member, if for some reason you stop paying payments or your payments on the program, if you stop paying altogether, it will turn off and shut down. Now, one of the big things that we've spoke to you about, if there ever is any financial difficulty, you're going to be late with the payments. If you email finance@eurofootballstar.com and let them know, we will always give you a grace period of one payment and we'll keep you in, because I get it. Single dads with two girls full time. I understand stuff happens sometimes. But if you miss two payments in a row, unfortunately, you will get disconnected from the community, not forever, until we ascertain what's going on. So that just hopefully gives you a little bit more information. All right, Derek Hutchinson as well with Cooper. You guys are having the same. So I will make a note of that. Now, Gabrielle Vella. Hi, Ray. GPS. Do we still record the session under squad in the GPS app? Yes. I would love you to still record it within the app as well, because it's more accountability. All we want you to do, Gabrielle, and for the players who are watching and the mums and dads, just record one training session a week if possible within our documentation, and it always record your game stats in there. It's not a lot of information, but also it helps the player look on the Stat Sports app and they learn to navigate it and then copy that information into that PDF document. But again, Gabrielle, and for everyone who's listening, you don't need to share that data to us on the GPS member until you've filled a whole page. We don't need it. The only reason we keep your GPS tracking data is after you complete a page. It's a great reference point for me, but also for my team. When we are going through your stats and data, we can see where you're at really quickly, rather than going into the GPS software. But also in the event I have got a staff member on there with me and we've been inundated with inquiries, that staff member can have a quick look for me and help me find that information quicker as well. So it's a great reference point, but it's about accountability for the players. Right, question from Dan H. Is there a team invite code for Stat Sports Apex that we can join for the Triple P community? Now, that's a great question. I think the StatSport Pro Apex, that's the app that they actually charge additional money for. I'm actually flying to England on Thursday and I'm going to be meeting with StatSport, and I'm going to see if I can get you some discount codes or codes to access it for free, maybe for a month or so. I don't believe they will give us it completely for free, but look, I will 100% ask the question, and that is a great question from Dan H. Thanks for that. So what I will do is I will reach out to see if we can get a code or some sort of discount for you for the Apex app. Is there a video on getting the best match day analysis footage? Is the GoPro on a tripod adequate? So yeah, 100% guys. A GoPro on a tripod is adequate. An iPhone, an iPad. For me, the best location to store it, if it's an outfield player, would be on the halfway line, exactly looking across the halfway line. You have your camera on landscape, and all we need to do is see your son or daughter in the first 30 seconds and you just basically highlight them. If you give us the number of the jersey, we can tag them. We will do a video for you, though. It's a great point, and I love that. And this is one of the beauties of this community. We want you to feed us with the information, and we'll give you what you're asking for. So, Dan H, what I'll do is for you, I'll do you a video in the next couple of days on the best positioning of where to put it. But it's basically on the halfway line, landscape, looking straight across the pitch. Now, if your son and daughter's a goalkeeper or you are a goalkeeper, I think we all know where we need the camera. It needs to be behind the goal, up nice and high, and directly looking straight up the pitch. That will be the prime location for a goalkeeper. If you can't get access to that behind the goal area, at least from the halfway line, turn the camera slightly on an angle and aim it on the goalkeeper's side of the pitch and completely cover the 18-yard box. But that's a great one from Dan. Question from Norm. Khaleesi is also full-time and we do not have access. Norm Wales, I'm so glad you're telling me this, guys, because we've sent multiple emails and messages to you to join and to get access, but we think maybe we might have turned off certain access, but we'll get that fixed up for you straight away. Apologies. I've got someone who's called Zoom user ZU, but it's not giving me a name, and that you wrote ours is locked too. Whoever Zoom user is, if you can tell me your name and I'll get that done. Jake Watson, Roddy. So what we're going to do is, guys, I will check everyone's access. I'll get my team on Monday to go through this. Now, next one was wondering about the GPS tracker not recognizing the goalkeeper position. Now, we've had this before. You can put the goalkeeper down if it's not flagging up as a goalkeeper and it's a bug that we're getting Stat Sports to fix, and I need to get an update for that. You basically need to put the goalkeeper down as the central defender, just so we get darted and stats for the goalkeeper, because it is super, super important. So, Adrian, great question. Put them down as the central defender for now. Bear with us. I've got a meeting next weekend in the offices of Stat Sports, which is actually where Everton are located in Liverpool. So I'll get that sorted for you. Next one is that Zoom user. We've had our match analysis with Danny. How do we access to look over that? So when you've done a match analysis, you should get your match report sent to you. You should also get your recording of your match sent to you for you to download and keep forever. It's one of the most important tools we give you. If you don't have access to your match analysis, any of yous, can you drop me a private message in here, guys, to say you don't have access to something and you need access to the match analysis? If you all drop me an individual message with what you're missing, I can make sure my team goes in and cleans all this up for you on Monday. Okay, Alex Alves, have you considered looking at the City Play track as an app? Is that something we can use and send? The answer is no, because the City Player is very buggy. We did test the City Player apps and we reviewed it with 100 players. Also, the City Player strap on your boot can't be used legally in a game of football under FIFA anywhere around the world. So we can't endorse you to wear that and then you get in a game and it hits someone in the eye and it hurts them, because we'd be liable. The only one that is actually signed off is Stat Sports R1 and Catapult, which is our rival one that we don't use. Okay, that one was from Erin Freeman. I appreciate that, guys. But again, remember, guys, if you are missing anything whatsoever, please feel free to drop me a direct message in here. So again, I'll show you how to do that. All you do is just go to members. You can search for Raymond Wood. If you put in my name, it'll bring me up. You can send it to, there's 3 of me in here, guys. You can send it to any of me. And all you then need to do is, if you just hit the chat button on here or here, I will get that communication and my team will clean that up for you straight away and get it actioned. Now, I'm just going to check if we've got any more questions. Now, guys, we haven't got any more questions in there. So if anyone wants to ask a question, drop it in. I'll stay online for another 10 or 15 if you'd like. If anyone wants to unmute and ask me a question, seriously, guys, go for it, because we're going to do this meeting at least every fortnight or every month so we can iron out any issues, any bugs whatsoever. because we want to get this completely right for you, and so you understand what you need to do and what your commitments are on a weekly basis. Okay, Norm, Khaleesi's never received an objective testing either. She has now done 2 of these. So again, apologies, Norm. You should have this, and we'll have it. But for some reason, there's a communication breakdown. This is why we moved to this community as well, because we can get things addressed and picked up. Too much stuff was going missing in the old system. If you don't mind, Norm, if you can drop me a direct message so I don't miss it and it's in there, I will get my team within the community to pick that message up, and we'll address that Monday for you straight away.
Hi, Ray, Joe here. I have a quick question. I'm just listening to
Yeah, hi
the
Joe. Thanks for joining us, mate.
yeah the match analysis.
Yeah,
So my son is when he joined, he was 8 year old, and at that time, the prime reason for joining is it's at that time it said we got full 4 year program, but because he's only 8 year, he got 8 years of worth of
yeah.
uh, program.
He could be on it for 10 years. It just depends how long it takes him to make it as a pro. But because you're on that 4 year minimum program,
Yeah.
Joe, he could be with us for 10 years. And that's the beauty of the longer program if you commit to the minimum of the 4.
Yeah, the question is if we're getting 2 match analysis for the whole 8 year, um, how does it work out? And it's going to be a bit of a,
So,
that was not my expectation when I joined.
so
That the
great.
key purpose of joining for this program is to do that match analysis, and it's a bit of not that much happy with that your change in policy.
So we've not changed the policy for you. So it's always been 2 match analysis for your program. It does state clearly that if you want more than 2, we can get you an additional 1. And we have an opportunity for those guys on the 4 years or longer. There is an additional cost to add that on. But just to explain, for someone who's 8, it will take him on average a year to do 1 objective. Okay. Now, that means it's a potentially 4 to 5 years to do his first match analysis. Now, we wouldn't let him go 4 or 5 years. We would probably trigger the second match analysis at year 3 or 4. But what we want him to do is really get going with it. So I'll give you an example. So for anyone who's got a boy like Joe or a daughter who's 6, 7, 8, and 9, one of the first trigger points, Joe, that would happen, you might reach out to me and go, Ray, he's really struggling to even get close to 85%. What we would do is we go, okay, he's had 25 goes at it, park that one, go to objective 2, see how he goes on objective 2, and we cycle through the objectives. Now, the beauty of this is within this new community, we can communicate this to you really easy and make this happen. It was really hard. We've been trying to get this community out as quick as possible, but we didn't want to launch it until it was 100% right for you. So what you would do is, Joe, you would cycle back through those objectives. Now, I think I need to have a separate 15, 20-minute meeting with you, because I think I need to look at your boy's objectives, because I believe my staff have said that he's completed them all. And I know that won't be possible. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you a private, personalized walkthrough for half an hour. And if you're comfortable with me doing it, I will share that back to the community, because again, that could be one of the most valuable videos for all the mums and dads on here, because maybe we're not connecting and communicating that information to you. And we'll hold our hands up and say, we'll take responsibility. It's us, it's not you. And we'll help you with that. So just on curiosity, Joe, just to remind me, you believe he's gone through all of his 5 objectives and he's done them all to 85% or above?
So we signed up for the program in June last year.
Yeah.
So we did the first match analysis sometime in June or July.
Okay.
And since then we got the Stat Sports website, and the athlete ID was linked to the Eurostar portal.
Yeah.
So we got the stats that's happening on one side, and um, the whole expectation of the program was, this is my expectation of the program. Okay, you get those information from Stat Sports. It's
Yeah.
available in the portal, and I was under the impression that someone will be. So I was taking the GPS tracker and putting it, turning it on, and we've been doing it religiously. And it came to our knowledge after a few months, none of this record data was not uploaded into the system.
By the
Um,
API. So look, I'll check that one on a separate note, but they've definitely all been updated and in there. If for some reason yours haven't been going in again, I'll hold our hand up and say maybe the communication to you guys on how you actually deal with the GPS tracker, how you download it to your device, and how
yeah,
it then
it
go.
was working. It was working on and off. All I'm saying is that it works, and sometimes the device hang, and you can't download the data into the Apex app. And we just gone back to Stat Sports. They just do all this. They send all this video to shut down, restart. Yeah. So and got it fixed, but the problem starts again. So that's one side of the story. All I'm saying is my expectation with this program was you get those data and you will get that visibility. We do the training in the ourselves. We do one objectives one by one.
Yeah,
But if I reflect on the last 10 months, we just flying blind.
yeah.
I didn't get any sort of visibility. This has improved, but it lacks that is more manual. My honest feedback of the school app, the community is great, but all this GPS tracking and everything is gone manual, so it's a bit of a
So it's
yeah.
gone, I'll cover that. So it's gone manual for a reason. I got carried away in the past 2 years with technology and I got sucked into the mentality of everything's done for you in a sense of the kids, this Uber Eats mentality, this order an Uber, you just click of a button and it's done for you. And what we've discovered was and this was my fault, we took away the learning from the players. The learning for the players is within the accountability and recording some, not all of it, but some of the stats. Now, we haven't got it fully in yet, but we're going to speak to you about it. We are still tracking and recording through the API, the GPS, and we are still grabbing that, but we're not going to be as vocal about that anymore. That's for us to keep for our benefit. What we expect the players to do is to become accountable and to record in. And the beauty of it is they actually don't just see it as they're just clicking a button and they download it and they forget about it. We want them to understand, and this is the key secret within the Premier League. It's down on that premise of paper and pen and recording it and putting it in. And what we discovered was when a player sees that they've recorded 26 sprints in a game, the following week, when they input that, the next one they've done is 24 sprints. So the first question they might answer is why? Well, you might know that he was a little bit sick with flu or buggy, and that could be the reason. But also it enables them to see that journey as well. And it's that accountability that we took them. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I'll be honest, I confused the life out of everyone with this over the last 12 months because I was so technology focused. The way we've gone with the school community, this technology is phenomenal, but there is that little bit of elements and accountability that we want the players to take on. But what we're saying is, if your son is able to record every single GPS tracking data within the PDF, 100% go for it. But we're not saying he has to do that. We're saying a minimum of one a week for training and one game day a week would be fantastic to record that for us. And what we discovered was I've just discovered, and I'm going to do a video. I'm going to the UK next week. I'm going to be in 3 Premier League clubs and I'm going to be sitting down getting videos done showing you these academy kids writing paper to pen and actually recording this on paper to pen. Then they upload that document into a PDF on their portal. They obviously don't use this portal or this community. They have their own in-house app, each club, for confidentiality reasons. But that's what we're going to showcase. So I'll admit, Joe, we did, and it's my fault. We confused the life out of it because I was so uber focused on technology and the portal, but we lost track of what was important to the players. Hence why when you're in the community now, we've added in probably over $60,000 worth of programs in there for the players to access. Now, one of the other things that we're going to be given, the football mental strength training, which is on here,
Yeah,
you
just
you
on
can.
yeah, just on that tracker, GPS tracker. There's one more thing. Probably I can see few younger kids, so probably beneficial for them as well. The Apex, the minimum age to register on Apex was 13. So this is because my son is 8 now, 9. When they compare Harry Kane, so when we always doing this GPS tracker uploaded into Apex portal, so that comparison efficiency is not to that age. So because the minimum age is 13 and son is only 8, 9, so always
Yeah.
getting that. So I was always thinking what value we're getting out of that exercise. Um,
So just
and
on that one, I'll just stop you
yeah,
on that one. So we have reported this to StatSport, and we've told them that like we've got a lot of players who are under that age group, and they're actually changing it around. So there's going to be a new firmware version coming out within the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm going to be meeting to speak with them about that. However, the GPS tracker will still record, it will still take the stats, it'll still do all the important 286 data points. But all it will do is when it says it compares him as a 13-year-old, it actually doesn't matter if he's 6 or he's 26. His stats are still his stats. However, you are completely spot on. They are the best GPS trackers on the planet. But I'll be honest with you as well. We've hit them between the eyes. They've still got a lot of things they've got to fix, and there's a lot of bugs. And the beauty of this is they've realized our customers have taught them more in 6 months than any other customer base on the planet. So they've realized and recognized that. So we've got, again, a couple of little things that are going to be coming up within Stat Sports. Now, the angle I've got for the Apex program, the full-time program, I don't know if anyone knows. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm thinking it's like $20 a month or $30 a month. One of the angles we're going at, Joe, we're trying to do a deal where they give us that for free, or they include it within the GPS trackers, because then that's another valuable tool for the players to have. So again, I appreciate that. Like, it's well noted. We've spoken to them and we're working on it.
yeah. While you're on, for especially for a young kid, I know 16-year-old they can go for the trials. So what should be expectation for parents for a 9-year-old? What should be the expectation? We just sit and wait for 4 years and then
No.
go for the trial. What's
So,
the program? Wow, I'm pretty much lost in the last 10 months. I don't see any
Joe,
sort of.
you can come and work for me, mate, because your questions are great. Right, this is a great question. So anyone who's under the age of 14 can't go on an official trial, but they can go across to get looked at and be in a training environment, and we'd get you the same feedback. Now, the reason why it's set to that way is that we've got, throughout Europe and the UK, clubs won't look at players professionally. I'm going to say professionally from the ages of 14 upwards, because they're starting to make decisions on players. So anyone who's 14 or older can go to Spain or France or Germany, anywhere within the EU. Anyone who's 16 can go across to the UK or to Europe. However, Joe, I'll just share someone with you. Let me just share Charlie here, right? If we've got a
Yeah,
player who is absolutely above and beyond, now I've challenged it a little bit on your match objective. You could be absolutely spot on. Your son could have done them all. Now, that wouldn't be unnormal. Now, if your son has done all of those objectives, the first thing I'll be doing is having a private conversation with you away from a Zoom call and saying, Joe, because of his level or because of her level, so anyone else who's listening, we would open up something pretty quick, because I'm telling you now, if your boy at 10 and 11 has got a certain level, those clubs would be stupid not to look at your son. But as a general rule, we're saying to families that it's 14 for the UK, for Europe and Spain, France, Germany. The UK is 16 and above. But that's where we guarantee that you will get an opportunity, you will get offered a contract, and also you will be guaranteed a minimum of 2 years to go and play pro. We can't guarantee an 11 or a 12-year-old to go and sign for a club, and I'll explain why. As a football agent as well, there's certain rules around moving players around the world that you can't do, and you've got to follow certain criterias. So we have to be careful with that. But once your son and daughter gets to a certain level, anyone who's on here, if they exceed those heights like Charlotte did, like Liam did, like Kai did, like there's 22, 23 players who've done it, we would expedite that straight away. But we don't want to set expectations too high for everyone and go, you're going to do it at 10 and 11, because it mightn't happen that way for everyone. So in an example for your boy, and I know the level he's at, he's definitely above average for his age. He would be one who we'd have a private conversation with nearer to the time in the next year or two, and we would look to open that up. Now, what would that cost? We don't charge you, but you would have to cover your own travel across and your own accommodation. Would I come across and be with you? 100% I would. I would come across and be part of that, or one of our team would come across and be part of it. So as an example, we'll share the good news with everyone while you're on, because some of you might be on here. We had 12 players who went for trials in January. We're pleased to announce that all 12 players got offered at least one contract offer, but we've actually had 3 players who've been offered 3 contracts each from 3 different clubs and academies. And we're going to do an announcement on Monday. And when we're at Wembley Stadium next week, we're going to be coming live from Liverpool versus Newcastle in the cup final. We're going to have those players on. And the scary thing is, Joe, one of those players has only been with us for 14 months, and they've just signed, I can't talk confidential reasons, but they've signed a very big deal with the club. So this is one of the big things that we're going to keep showcasing to you, that it is possible they could go younger, but to protect ourselves as well, we're saying the average age is 14 to go into Spain, Germany, Belgium, those countries in the EU. Anyone for the UK, it's 16. But can you go earlier? 100% you can go earlier. And we can set it up as a training opportunity and get your son and daughter looked at. You just cover your travel across, you cover your accommodation. There is an option if you want us to set it up for you. We will charge you for it, and we do put money on top because we're a business, but we don't want you to have to pay that if you don't want to. We can say to you, Joe, we've set up the training opportunity at Bolton Wanderers. Here's the date. We'll see you over there, and we look forward to seeing you in England on this particular date. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit, John.
Yeah, it's thanks for that clarification. Can I ask what was the age group those 8 boys or girls got into this year? Was it
We've got players who 14, 15, 18, 19. There's 12 of them, and they all range from 14 upwards. Obviously, some of our more recent ones and our biggest success stories, again, is the likes of Charlotte and Liam. Kai,
yeah.
they're 11 and 12 years of age when they got their opportunities. So again, yeah, we can go that. But what I will do for you, Joe, because I know everyone else is hanging on and we've got 2 more questions. I'll
Okay.
be in touch on email, and I will happily give you 30 minutes, mate, of my time, because I feel we owe it to you, because I'm listening to you as customers and I want to help you. We want this to be successful for you. So I will give you half an hour if you need it on a private call, and we can cover some of these extra bits. Hopefully
Okay.
that's
Thanks.
okay with you. Cheers, Joe. So guys,
All
if
right.
anyone's got any other questions, I'll have a quick look to see if there is any more in here. We're trying to go full time. We've had a few correspondence, but no move forward. How do we get going? Xander is 7 and will be 8 in April. So I take it, Fadil, you're on our full-time program. So one of the questions I've got back to you, if you're on the full-time, have you done your match analysis? Are you following your objectives? I noted that I think you've joined this meeting late. So just to let you know, Fadil, we've recorded this meeting. We've been online for nearly an hour. We're going to share this recording to everyone. And what we're going to do is, guys, for everyone who's interested, we're going to drop it into the how-to. So this recording will be in the how-to guide for everyone within the next 24 hours. Next question, Gabrielle. Josh is on the movements objective. Would it be possible to have a video showing what constitutes successful and unsuccessful, a demonstration or a visual video, not an explanation? 100%, Gabrielle, that's a great one. So what I'll do is I will get a video cut up and edited, and I'll give you, if it's okay, a 4 to 5 minute video, and I'll give you 3 or 4 examples. on how we can do that. So movements objective. And again, we will drop that within the how-to guide because then it'll come under objectives because it's a great one. And that's one of the ones that we'll do. And what I'll do is, Gabrielle, I'll put one up pretty quick for you to give you an example. But when I'm in Europe, I'm actually going to Europe 3 times in the next 8 weeks, believe it or not. I'm going to be spending time at some of the top academies. I'm going to get a camera and I'm going to work with some of them. And we're going to get some of these done for you as well. So that's a great one. Thanks for that. Alex Alves, all the GPS stats that have already been uploaded to the portal, are they used in any way or by our coach and squad? So Alex, yet they are. So they're for our benefit as much as yours. It's a great way of us charting your stats. So one of the things you're not going to see that we're going to do, and we've realized we don't want you to have this responsibility, but we're going to have a lot of this tracked and charted in spreadsheets with performance trackers so we can actually show a percentage improvement or a decline, excuse me, within your stats. So watch this space for that one. So guys, that's all of the questions. A big, big thank you for joining us. I'm not going to keep these any longer because I know it's the weekend and it's late. I've done this session late for many reasons because we've obviously got players around the world as well, but also I think sometimes the late evening ones is a great one. And if you're not able to join any of the future ones, drop us questions and we'll answer them again. If you've got anything urgent or you haven't got access to certain parts, guys, please drop it in for me. We're here to help you. And as I said, we've taken on 2 new staff to help me on this platform, on the community, to be more responsive and to get these answers you need. And the best thing I can do is get a video done and an explainer, and we can get you firing with everything. So guys, a big thank you for working through us. Thank you for your patience. And now I've unconfused everyone and we've gone down a simpler route. Hopefully we'll have a lot more smooth sailing and many, many more success stories. For those guys who are now who are online, who've been offered contracts, a big, big congratulations on your dream is about to start in the next couple of months when you start your professional contract. So well done. Thanks, guys. Big thank you for joining us. See you, Cooper.
You're right.
See you, Alex. See you, Gabrielle. See you, guys. Thank you, Joe, as well, for all your great questions tonight. Cheers, Donna. Thanks, Benjamin. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.